welcome to Side Character Quest, a fantasy adventure podcast where we follow every character except for the main character. I'm your side character guest, Mallory, and joining me is your host. Hey Ty, how's it been going? That's cool. Did you have a good Halloween? I lost it. Okay, sorry. I was trying to keep it going normally, but I couldn't think of anything else to ask about besides Halloween.
Oh, that's okay. Hey, everybody. This is Ty, and this is Mallory, and we're going to be telling you a little story, and it's going to be fun, and you're going to enjoy it. As you can tell, we recorded this right around Halloween, although this will be coming out closer to Christmas time.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't mean to put a timestamp on it.
No, it's okay. It's just reminding me how much of the backlog I've burned through and how close we are. And oh my goodness. Okay. All right.
Okay, but was that intro okay?
Yeah, that was good. Don't worry.
Do we need to do it again? Was it fine?
No, we're fine.
Okay.
In the last episode, we were introduced to Mallory's character, Alton, who is a halfling guildmaster locksmith. He's pretty well respected. He has an apprentice named Daniel, and he was just sort of, hanging out at a gala for different guildmasters and important folk. And he got accosted by some threatening folks at the end of it. Remind me, hey, Mallory, give me a name real quick for something pleasant in nature.
Flowers. Okay. I don't like the sound of that. Do you want me to try again?
Yeah, give me a different one.
Cats.
Cats? Okay.
Give me some more context. What am I going for?
I'm trying to think of something that will be like that I can combine into making a fun town name for the suburb that you live in.
Oh, okay. Hills.
Ooh, Cat's Hill.
There we go.
You were accosted right outside of your home on Cat's Hill, which is right outside of the city of Cirque, and yeah, let's pick up right there. You find yourself. It is super late at night, and you have been placed in the back of a cart, a wagon that's being pulled by a couple of horses. It's a closed wagon, and sitting on either side of you are these two dragonborn. One a green-scaled dragonborn that's tall and wiry, and another one that is a white-scaled dragonborn, and she is a little bit shorter, but they look otherwise fairly similar. As you were getting put into the cart, you saw the driver was an older dwarf man. What do you do?
So we're already in the cart. They just scooped me up and put me in the cart.
Yeah, you were put into the wagon. Not too. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Does somebody want to tell me what's going on here? I don't see any reason why we can't work whatever this is out like civilized people.
Give me a persuasion check.
Oh, that was so good. 21.
Ooh, okay. I guess I should probably have that be a what's the word?
Contest?
Yeah, contest. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know D&D. Yeah, they rolled very well, but you beat them out 22 versus a 16. The white-scaled dragonborn, she looks at you and says, we are taking you to meet our boss. She has a job for you. And the green-scaled dragonborn on your other side, he fingers the feather that had been in Danny's hat and says, well, it's a job that I don't think you will want to pass up.
Where's my apprentice?
Don't worry about your apprentice. He will remain perfectly unharmed as long as you fulfill your end of the bargain. The end of the bargain that you have no real choice but to accept.
I'm sure that if we go back to my shop, there is something in there that can offer up much better collateral than a young boy.
I am listening. What are you proposing? What pleasures do you have?
I have a wide assortment of magical items, magical locks. I'm not saying I won't help. I was just saying, surely we can not hold a boy hostage.
He scratches his head, or sort of scratches his brow with the feather, the tip of the feather, and leans to the side. Makes like sort of a face. What do you think, Yver? Do you think the boss will accept this deal, or do you think she prefers to keep things the old-fashioned way? I do not know. Let's let her decide. I would not want to make this sort of decision without consulting her. So unless you are going to try something else, they're just going to keep on going.
Well, can we at least go so I can grab my stuff? Hang on, let's say, I'm not going to be any use to this mission without at least my locksmith's kit, which I don't have with me. Can I go grab some supplies from my place before we go out on whatever is about to happen?
Do you have? This is maybe the deal. You do. Okay,
yeah,
so this is
sure,
okay. This is a lot. Give me a deception check. Once again. Give me a very good deception check.
It's only 17. It could be better.
You're up against a non-natural 20.
Well, I have my locksmithing kit, but I don't have like all of my like thieves' tools and stuff.
That's true, but that's not what you said.
Yeah. I used the wrong semantics.
So when you say that, his eyes look towards the pack that you have on your lap now. It had been on your back. Was it a pack? I think you just had like a small bag.
It was a small bag, we decided, because I that was the reason why I didn't bring as much stuff as I probably could have. It was just a small bag.
Okay. He looks at that and very quickly like goes to snatch it out of your hands, out of the lap, and opens it up and sees the lockpick kit on the inside, and he's like, fair attempts, but I've been in this game for a while. I think I can recognize a lockpicking kit.
I mean, that's just some basic tools. I've got a lot more than that, but if you insist, I'll just be at a handicap, whatever I need to open up.
Yeah. After a while, you've been writing for a little while, and just based on the direction that you've gone and the fact that all of a sudden the bumps in the road get a little bit smoother, you can tell that you are entering the city of Cirque, which is right next to Cat's Hill, and you don't know exactly where you're going because the windows are covered to this wagon, and also it's night, so there's not a lot of noise to go by. They keep making turns this way and that, so as to prevent you from being able to figure out which direction you're going. They pull up to a building and stop, and at that point, Yver, the dragonborn with white scales, she passes you a black hood. Put it on, please.
All right, I put it on. Have I been to this city before?
Yeah, you've been to Cirque before. So you live in Cat's Hill, which is a suburb of Cirque, and Cirque is like a massive city, and it's probably where you do a lot of your business.
Okay.
So Cat's Hill is more of a calm, pleasant place to do like to have a workshop where you can like own some space. But Cirque is where like, it's where merchants live. It's where business happens. It's a lot of cultural things.
Where boy snatchers live.
Yes. Although it's not super criminal as far as you're aware.
Okay. But yeah, I put the hood on.
City. Huh?
I said, yeah, I put the hood on.
Cool. So you guys get pulled out of the cart. One of the Dragonborn, you can't tell which, helps lower you down because it's quite a big drop for your size. This is definitely a cart built for not built for halflings, built for dwarves or Dragonborn humans maybe. And you hear the thud as the dwarf from the front of the cart gets down and whispers to some of the Dragonborn, then gets back on and pulls the cart away. You then get have a hand placed on either shoulder, and you get roughly pushed along into a building.
Could I hear what was being whispered about?
Roll me a perception check.
Sorry, that took way too long to do. 22.
20. Oh, nice.
I know, my perception is very good.
So I wasn't, I was planning to only give you the ability to recognize that voice if you heard it again, the dwarf's voice. But with a 22, I should be able to tell you what would they have been saying exactly in that moment. It's nothing huge. It's basically just, they were, asking for, should I wait here? Should I, pull around? So they didn't give you anything particularly useful. But you will recognize that voice if you hear it again.
Cool.
So you and the two Dragonborn on your side walk you through this building. There, you go up some stairs, down some stairs, through some doors. You can tell that the floor is made of wood. You can every once in a while you see light peeking in through the threads in your hood. But overall, you don't get a lot of information. Until finally you go down some stairs and the floor beneath you turns from wood to stone. You get sort of pushed, not too hard, but like fairly firmly, but not forcefully, if that makes sense, into an empty space. Then you hear a door, metal door slam behind you. You find yourself in the dark. You can take off your hood now. You'll be here for a while, so make yourself at home. But not too long, I promise.
Okay. I take off the hood.
Okay.
What do I see?
Roll me a perception check. I'm having you do a lot of rolls today.
I know.
This is like the most I ever do.
And so far, it's been okay. That one's not the best. It's only a 15.
Okay. That's good enough. There's not tons to see. You find yourself in it looks like you're in a basement room of some sort. There's, stone floors, fairly dirty. You can see a wooden bench to your side. You can see a small writing desk with what appears to be some bread, some olive oil, a brand that you actually recognize as being a pretty nice brand. There's a small bottle of wine and a bottle of water, and sure, also a chicken breast. Yeah. However, that's in stark contrast to what you see in front of you, which is just metal bars and a metal door, because you are definitely in some sort of cell.
Did they take away my stuff?
Your stuff?
Like my bag, sorry.
Yes. So they took away as they were pushing you into the chamber, they took away your bag. And my question is, was there anything that you had been carrying that you wouldn't have been carrying in your bag?
I imagine I would keep... I'm trying to remember how big we decided the bitey box was. Because I imagine that would be something that I would keep pretty close. But if it's not big enough to fit in a pocket, then that's fair. And it's also in the bag.
Yeah, so the bitey box was... I would say probably like, hey, listeners, I'm putting up my hands in a motion that's like half the size of a shoebox.
So probably not pocket size.
Not pocket sized. It would probably fill up most of your bag. Were you actually carrying that with you before? I forget.
Yeah, Okay, I forgot too. I want to say that's probably what I used to put my spoils in. But was it? Oh God.
Let me double check to see if I listed out all the stuff you have. So let me check real quick to see if you actually had that.
Okay, I've got the list. It was I imagine, because I kept the replica in the box before I switched it, I think. But I imagine that I wouldn't keep anything outside of my bag except for maybe like a dagger in my pocket.
Okay.
But that seems a little extreme for a party. So we can just say that there was probably everything in my bag. That's fair.
Okay. So the bitey box, the way I sort of envisioned this, and I think this is how we talked about it in the last episode, but I could be wrong. It was big enough that you could potentially throw it in a satchel or a backpack small enough that you could throw it into a backpack or a satchel without it being a big deal. But it was big enough that it wasn't the sort of thing that you would just casually carry around. And it mostly was what you kept. You kept it at your house so that you had somewhere safe and that you knew you could put things and leave them safely. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, let's go with that. I did not bring bitey box. If I actually did, sorry, we can retcon that real quick. I did not bring bitey box. I just brought lock picking stuff and some daggers and then the replica skull. Yeah, let's go with that. And it's all in the bag, the satchel.
Nice.
That took 6 minutes.
You did eventually swap out the replica skull with the real, like, magical one from that guy. And you said that the only thing that you would have kept in your pocket was was one of the daggers, and that was it?
Yeah, let's go with that. That sounds fair.
So I'm going to have you roll a sleight of hand check to see if you were able to hide the dagger without, in such a way that they didn't find it when they were, like, checking you before throwing you in the cell.
Okay. My sleight of hand was so good, but that's only a 13.
They rolled a 20 investigation check.
Cool.
Natural 20.
Just take it all.
Everybody's doing good rolls right now.
Take it all. The one thing I have double proficiency in was my worst roll.
So yeah, they take everything and they leave you behind in the cell. Do you say anything to them before they leave you in the cell?
Is there anybody else in the room or in the surroundings that I can see?
No. As far as you can see, there is nobody else in the room. You can see at least one other cell across from you, and there's some space down the hall that looks like there might be more, but it's not super well lit, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Okay. Well, before they leave, and as they're leaving, I want to, as casually as possible, just go sit down and start eating. Like, this is super normal.
Nice.
Not even a little bit intimidated.
Nice. Do you drink any of the alcohol?
No.
No? Okay.
I just start digging into that chicken and bread.
That sounded very ominous of me, but I was more looking to see, like, how relaxed you were trying to be.
No, I'm trying to keep my wits about me. I'm just a halfling. I imagine I should steer clear of the alcohol if I'm about to have to deal with ne'er-do-wells.
That's fair. So you eat your food, and it's conspicuously absent of utensils. You notice pretty quickly, presumably because they don't want you stabbing them with a fork or something, fashioning a shiv out of a spoon. And it's pretty good food. It's pretty good. The water is fresh. The chicken breast is good. The bread is good. Everything's pretty nice. But you just end up waiting for maybe 30 minutes in the dark, and until at some point, maybe 10, 15 minutes later, you hear some shuffling, and down the stairs comes a man, a dwarven man. He says to you, "You're gonna be down here until the morning, so I recommend you just go to sleep for now." And then he shuffles away, unless you say something to him.
Do I recognize it as the voice from earlier?
You do indeed recognize it as the voice of the driver from earlier.
Hey, wait.
Yes.
Why is it taking so long? They said it was just going to be a little while.
Well, it turns out it took a little bit longer than we thought, and the boss had already gone to sleep. So, you can't go waking up the boss.
Can I at least have some bedding?
He looks at you and has like a very he steps a little bit into the light to look towards your cot, the wooden cot, and you can look at his face. He's pretty well bearded, as dwarves are, although his upper lip is shaved and he has a cleft palate, a split in his upper lip. He's dressed pretty cleanly, pretty nicely, and he looks at you and says, well, I don't want you to catch your death down here. I guess I'll have to get you something. Just wait a moment, please. I'll be right back. And he shuffles away to go grab some blankets.
Sweet.
Comes back maybe like 10 minutes later, tosses some blankets into your cell through the bars, and leaves you down there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night. As good as it can be, I suppose.
Cool. So, Ty, question for you. Did that chicken have bones?
Yes, it did. What type of bones are in a chicken breast?
I don't know.
I'm looking this up. I mean, I don't know.
I'm not super knowledgeable on chicken breast.
Bones in a chicken. This is not a Google search I was expecting to do today.
Like to keep you on your toes.
Bones in a chicken breast. Bone. Okay, I clearly there's bones in a chicken. How to debone a chicken breast? So I'll be able to see the bone.
Cool. There's bones.
That is in the chicken breast. 1 second. Allrecipes.com for all your shanking needs.
Oh, I'm not trying to hurt somebody. I'm trying to pick a lock.
Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, there we go. Okay, there are ribs.
Sound like good lock picking size bones.
Okay, so there's definitely ribs. So yeah, there are bones.
Can I try to pick the lock?
I mean, I tried to not give you anything, but look at this.
You gave me a choice.
So like I've said before, when you have your kit, when you have your locksmith kit or your lock picking kit and you're picking a normal lock, I'm never gonna like have you do any sort of check to see if you're able to pick a normal lock, because that's your job. You're just good at that.
Yeah.
But in this case, since you're using something that's not your kit, I'm gonna have you actually roll.
Alrighty.
Using something that is not ideal.
I do have a lot of time though.
Yeah, that's true. I'm basically concerned about you accidentally breaking the bones and making them not feasible.
That's fair. So that's what kind of check is that? Is that just to use, like, is that just
Okay, I'm going to look this up real quick because I feel like this is probably going to come up again at some point.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm not used to being a rogue.
Okay. It is a dexterity check with proficiency.
Okay, but I mean, if you want to take that away, I could understand that I'm not proficient in chicken bones. That's your call.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll take that away.
Okay, I'm trying to be fair. This is a little ridiculous, but...
Yeah, because you're proficient in lockpicking, like using the lockpicking tools. You're not proficient in lockpicking with ribs. I wouldn't let a normal person do this. Or I'd set the DC like super high. I'm still setting the DC relatively high.
18?
Dang it! Well, I set it to 15.
Oh.
At what point do you think you would be trying this?
I imagine I would wait, because I wouldn't trust that they really just wanted me to go to sleep. So I imagine I would wait probably like an hour. And if it was still just all quiet, then I'd try.
Okay. It's probably at this point about 5 o'clock in the morning, just to give you an idea. Although you can't really see that. That's just sort of what you're guessing. You take those bones, you've spent the last hour or so just sort of like gnawing at the meal, slowly getting them meticulously clean, eyeing the door every once in a while, like, are they going to come? until finally you go and you're like, okay, now's the time. You slip over to the door, reach your hands around through the bars and start like picking at it with the ribs. It takes you some doing. You break a couple in the process, but then it pops open and the door slides open. Do you do anything with the cell after you leave? Do you take any of the stuff with you?
Not at the moment. I'm not trying to leave this area. I just kind of want to look around and see, like, if there's because I imagine not only would it be incredibly difficult for me to escape this place, but they also have my boy, my son.
They have your boy.
Like, I can't just leave without him. So I'm just looking around to see if maybe he's here in another cell or what else is around. Like, if there's any kind of thing I can grab and hide to have on me that I might be able to use as, like, I would say as a weapon, but I'm not a fighter. What's in here?
Give me I don't know if this would be, I guess this would be an investigation check because you're trying to find any sign of that Danny had been here at some point, right?
Okay.
So give me an investigation.
That's a nat 20.
Shit. So, you start looking around, and the cell that's right across from you, you can see it's sort of bathed in shadow, because the lamp above it is not lit. But stepping closer, you can look inside and see that there's a similar setup that there was on your cell, where there's a table, there's, a cot and all those things. And you can see the remains of a meal that is similar to what was left out for you. You do notice, though, that the bread is rye bread and it is completely untouched. And that's just like Danny. Danny cannot handle rye. He just does not. Oh boy, not a fan. So you're fairly certain that he had been held here at some point.
But he's no longer here. Oh, Danny. I'm so worried about this
Danny
character
boy.
I just met and brought into my heart. All right. Is there anything else in here besides just the cells?
Not really. There's a chair near the door that leads up the stairs. But other than that, there's just the cell you're in, cell across from it, and then 2 cells down the hall a little bit.
Okay.
Also empty, I should say.
Cool. How far do I want to take this gamble?
I know.
Would I have a decent idea of about what time it is, even though it's dark down here, just from the amount of time that's passed?
You would have a good idea that it is somewhere between like 5 and I would say that because this has been a crazy night, you'd probably have a vague idea of somewhere between 5 and like 8.
Okay, so probably getting pretty close to morning.
Yeah, like sunlight is either here or not far off.
Okay.
If only you had windows.
I know. I go back in my cell and put like the bones over where the food is to make it just look normal, that like as if I had just been eating them. And then I just take my blanket and go sit in the chair outside the cell and just like lean my head up against the wall and just act like I've just been sleeping out here.
Bold. All right. And you don't try to leave or anything?
I don't think I do. I feel like, gosh, this episode can go 2 very different ways. I'm trying to think of what my character would do. Because I imagine if it was just me that I was thinking about, I would probably just try to escape.
Mm-hmm.
But just knowing that I have no idea where I am, what kind of building I am, how big it is, and like where Danny could possibly be. Also knowing that it's almost morning. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait down here, but I'm gonna be ballsy about it.
All right.
Gonna seem cool in my chair, just asleep, not trying to escape, but not gonna stay in a cell.
Nice. Okay. And so are you trying to stay up through the night?
Yeah, at this point.
Okay.
I probably maybe rest my eyes a little bit, but
what's your constitution? I'm just gonna like do a passive Constitution check.
13, so plus
13.
1.
So plus 1. I'm gonna say that you doze in and out a few times, but like more or less like managed to stay awake.
Okay.
And eventually you hear some feet padding down the stairs, and do you just like pretend to be asleep?
Yes.
Yeah. And at the bottom of the stairs, sort of very, very lightly plops down, you hear just sort of a whistle. Very impressive, friend. This is why we have decided to contract you. Very good job. Just still pretending to be asleep.
No, I was trying to think of something clever to say and I couldn't. Okay. Yeah, I just sit up and say, oh God.
I see the night has not been kind to you.
No, it's pretty hard to sleep down here.
Understandable. Well, would you care to get some exercise? Ready to go?
Sure.
All right, my friend. At this point, you notice that he's holding in his hand a pair of manacles, but then he looks at them, looks at the unlocked door to your cell, and looks at you and says, I do not think we will be needing these.
No, that really won't be necessary.
Come on, friend. And he places his hand firmly on your shoulder, but sort of in a perfunctory, like he kind of has to way, but not like he really expects you to try anything. And he walks you up the stairs. As you go up the stairs, these stone stairs. I guess he doesn't put the hood on your head because I didn't say that he did.
Nice. See, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm just slowly trying to charm these thieves into being like, you know what? He's all right.
Nice. So he walks you up the stairs and takes you through this hallway. You start to see a little bit of morning light peeking in through some windows as you walk by various open doorways and realize this is this appears to be a mostly abandoned building. You recognize the construction as being very similar to other buildings that you've seen in Cirque. He eventually starts leading you up the stairs. You go up maybe 4 or 5 stories, marking this as one of the sort of at least mid-sized buildings in Cirque. And eventually you get to a room where you can see a light on the inside, and you can see Yver, the white-scaled dragonborn, sitting on a chair next to that door. Why is he not handcuffed? I do not think it will prove to be necessary. He had his chance to run last night, and he did not take it. You slowly get pushed down the hallway towards that door with the light underneath.
Alrighty.
At the door, the green-scaled dragonborn, he sort of lets go of your shoulder and says to you, now is the time for you to go inside, make your bargain, and continue on, okay? Go on ahead.
What was his name again?
His name, I think you heard it. His name was Knot.
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 Okay. Thanks, Knot.
You're welcome, sir. Do you go through the door?
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to do.
That's the situation they've tried to paint you into.
Yeah.
So you open the door up, and inside you see a pretty lavishly, unlike the rest of the building, which looked almost abandoned. Most of the rooms, like you saw various signs of that people had been there, but there weren't furnishings. There weren't people walking around. There weren't footprints. There weren't anything. But this room is lavishly carpeted. There's plush pillows on various couches that are around this large apartment-like space. There's a couple of desks. There's shelves covered with lots of different knickknacks. The sort of things that you would really have liked to have stolen in another moment. You see books, scrolls, and sitting behind one of the desks, poring through a open tome, you see a woman, a dwarf woman with dark brown hair, long sideburns, and functional but like still nice clothes, if that makes sense. Like very well made, hardy clothes. And she is just like not really paying attention to you. You hear the door close behind you, and you are fairly certain that those two are just kind of standing there waiting for whatever is going to happen. I shall also note there are no windows in this room that you can see.
Okay. Good morning. I'd really like to know where my apprentice is.
One moment, I'm busy. And you see her just like scratching away with a quill on a sheet of paper next to this opened home.
I wait an acceptable amount of time before just saying, this is all very unnecessary. If you needed my help, you probably could have just asked. I love stealing things. What's going on?
She sighs, puts down her quill, folds her hands in front of her, and looks up at you. Can I call you Alton? Or
sure.
Perhaps Guildmaster Locksmith? What would you prefer?
Just Alton is fine.
How long have you lived in this city, Alton?
I forgot how old I was. Okay, sorry. Bringing that back real quick. My whole life.
Nice. You know, Alton, this is one of the oldest cities in the world, tied only with Mount Rena. That's my hometown, actually. But Cirque, the city below the circle. How strange that name is. It's more of a geography lesson than a true title, just pointing out that smooth circular wall at the top of the city. The only wall like it, excluding the one that's at the edge of the world. All these towns around here, Cat's Hill, where you're from, they're just hangers-on. Not really that important. But there is one spot that's always interested me. It's always intrigued me. It's the Congress Monastery. It's right over Cirque, nestled between it and that curious wall. Now, it's my understanding, Alton, that you did some work for them several years ago. And she pulls out a box that you recognize. You recognize it as your handiwork. I'd like you to roll a quick history check.
That's a 6. I don't remember a box I made very well.
Nice. Yeah, you recognize that it's a box that you made just from context of what she said, but you do not remember this box at all. Now, this box right here. It's also something that you worked on once. And for the life of me, I have not been able to get it open. Neither is Wark, neither is anybody on my team. And you notice at this point that there's like various arcane symbols that have been scrawled on with chalk around the keyhole. And you also recognize, well, I don't think you would recognize this, but just from your basic knowledge of that little hammer that you have that you use to imbue things in a lock-proof against magic thing, you recognize that those would not have worked. Nothing, no sort of magic that can undo a lock that you have fused that way, which is why you only do that for the highest bidders. And so a lot of people don't even know, most people don't even know that you have the ability to magic proof locks.
I have a question for you, Ty.
Yes.
When I lock these things in this way for people with my hammer, Are they given a way to open it?
They're given a key.
Okay, they're given a key.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
It basically means that so there's a certain spell. I don't remember what the spell is called. That there's a certain spell that people use. There is a spell that wizards have that can unlock locks in D&D. That's just a thing in D&D. Your little like when you enchant something with this little tool hammer, it prevents that from working. And it also prevents dispel magic and similar things from removing the charm.
Okay, cool.
So it prevents both of those things from happening. So there's just like the only way somebody can get into that is by having the actual key, or by being a like super master lockpick, because like the only time you will ever apply this charm to something is when it's something that you know somebody can't physically unlock. Like somebody would have to be so good to get into it. You can barely pick them. So she holds that box up and just sort of looks at it. She says, I think did I already describe what did I say for her already?
I think she just said, I think we stopped with her saying, like, for the life of me, I can't figure out how to open it.
Oh, yes. For the life of me, I have not been able to figure out how to open this thing. And knowing that, I want to know what the monastery possibly has that's worth protecting in this same way. And I'm going to need you to find that out for me. And I think we're going to stop here with this episode.
Okay. Man, how great would it be if I was like, oh, it's at my place. I already stole it. Before I locked that box, I just stole what they wanted to put inside.
Nah. Yeah, so this, just so you know, the lock at the monastery is that you built, which Alton would remember this at least. When you worked did the thing for the monastery, you were adding a lock to a door. So it was not something that you could like steal.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where we're stopping right now.
God, these cliffhangers. You're killing
You're not
me.
gonna have to wait as long though, because I think do we have time to record another episode?
Yeah, no, I'm down. I was just trying to keep the mystery alive for the listeners in case you concluded this in. I was
excellent.
trying to just like keep the magic alive.
I'm sorry, I can't keep the magic alive.
We're looking behind the curtains now. We're just gonna keep recording. There is no cliffhanger.
All right, guys. So yeah, this has been fun. This has been great. How do we want to sign off?
Thanks everybody for listening to Side Character Quest. I hope you're enjoying this story arc. I am. It's been fun. Thanks, Ty. I love D&D. All right, bye guys.
Bye. Thanks to the Joy Drops for the use of Not Drunk as our intro and outro music. Find them at thejOydrops.com. You can find us at sidecharacterquest.com, at SCQ Podcast on Twitter, or by email at sidecharacterquest@gmail.com.
This is gonna get cut and put in the bloopers.
A little aggressive?
Yep, that's me. That's what how everyone talks about Ty. They're like, oh man, real aggressive, real aggro,
Great
barely
dancer.
contained monster. Are you ready for this? You ready for this? You excited? You pumped? You ready? You energetic?
I am some of those things.
Wait, cut that. Ty, this is a note to me. Cut that line. And eventually he leads you to a fairly nice staircase, like in a big open room staircase that's leading up. That doesn't make any sense. So if you guys have any questions for us, send them in now. And if it turns out that I've already done side character questions episode before this episode comes out, then I'll cut out this part. Reminder, Ty, cut out this part if it's no longer relevant. And don't say it during the next episode because it's not needed.